you could also be on a men's team. You could be on a team with other men. You guys can meet weekly, bi-weekly, whatever it is, on a regular basis, and still not be diving into the depths of your connection, right? And with that level of connection and intimacy, really supporting each other on the deepest level so that you can all be winning in your lives. All right, fellas, I want you to just take a moment, pause, and really think about the answer to this question. How many friends do you have? How many male friends do you have, to be more specific? All right, got the answer. Now, of those male friends, how many of those relationships would you consider deep friendships, deep relationships where you have very in-depth and groundbreaking conversations? If this isn't the basis for all of your relationships with your male friends, then there's a problem there. And I'm calling it a problem because it is a well-known fact that the majority of men report feeling isolated, lonely, and straight up not having a support system. You've heard the stats all over the place, but men are leading in suicide and really every physical ailment / sickness other than breast cancer when it comes to men and women. All in all, us men are struggling, right? We are not getting the emotional support that we need in order to continue to withstand the difficulties, the rigors of life. And that support really starts with friendship. But if you are anything like me, which I'm sure you are, you probably find it difficult to deepen your relationships with other men. It's something that we're not really trained to do in this society. And in fact, there's, a narrative that goes exactly against that you really shouldn't have deep relationships with other men. It's not worth your time. If you need that camaraderie, that bonding, then you're weak. You should be able to do everything by yourself. We all know that's bullshit. But at the end of the day, it still leaves us ill-equipped to deepen relationships with other men. And if we don't figure out how to do that, then we're going to continue to have those cooler side conversations where we're just scratching the surface, talking about sports, talking about the weather, talking about things that don't really fucking matter and don't really get to the depth of what is actually going on with each and every one of us. Now, if we can't get to that place, we're never going to get the support that we need, and we're going to continue to feel isolated. We're going to continue to harm ourselves through alcohol, nicotine, drugs. We're going to continue to be sick, and we're really never going to be able to move forward and create friendships that are going to result in our lives actually changing. Now, I'm bringing this topic up because it's definitely something that has plagued me in the past. I have my close homies, Jeddy being one of them, Sean Barry being another. But when I wasn't physically close to these men, I realized that I didn't have a lot of close male friends, at least in my physical vicinity. And not only did I not have a lot of close male friends, I found it really difficult to be able to drop in deeper with the men that I would vibe with in the area. There would obviously be some sort of connection there. There would be some relatability. There would be, just like there would be a vibe, to put it scientifically. And despite the vibe being there, it's like I really just didn't know how to drop a layer deeper so that we could both take our masks off, be real, support each other, and therefore develop an even stronger friendship. Now, on my men's team, we had a really awesome check-in. My men's team is through the Rising Man Fire Circles, have been on this team for, I think, about 3 years now, maybe a little bit more. And one of the men, Jeremy Richardson, shout out to Jeremy, brought in this check-in that really changed things up for our team. Now, I started this episode talking about guys that don't have friends or maybe only have a few kind of superficial friends, but you could also be on a men's team. You could be on a team with other men. You guys can meet weekly, bi-weekly, whatever it is, on a regular basis, and still not be diving into the depths of your connection. right? And with that level of connection and intimacy, really supporting each other on the deepest level so that you can all be winning in your lives. So our team was plagued with this. And then my brother, Jeremy Richardson, brought in the 5F check-in. And it really changed the game for us. Not only did it help us keep a better radar on how each and every one of us were doing in these different domains in our life, but it enabled all of us to actually have a system to check in, not just with the team, but with ourselves to how am I actually doing? It's hard to be vulnerable when you don't take the time to really know how you're doing. And sometimes a question that's as vague as how are you doing can just lead to some existential crisis. It can just be too vague. And we have like, what area do I focus on? What do I look at? How do I actually know how the fuck I'm doing? So I'm here to drop the 5F check in on you guys here. And really the idea is that it is a tool you can use with a good friend, a new friend, a men's team, or just some other man in your life in order to provide some easefulness to drop into deeper conversations that are actually rooted in reality and actually enable the two of you or the group of you to be able to actually let another man into what is really going on for you. So the 5Fs really just cover these 5 domains in our life that everyone has or that we can all relate to. And it gives us an opportunity to speak from a real place as to how these things are going. Now, the result of speaking to these things in an authentic way is it leads to greater connection. And greater connection is the antidote to feeling isolated, to feeling lonely, to feeling overwhelmed, to feeling like you got to do all this shit by yourself, which we know we don't have to do. So if you're tired of feeling that way, you got to let someone in. And if you don't know how to let someone in, then try the 5F check-in on, and I think you're going to like it. So let's just get right into it. So the 5Fs, the first one we're going to start with is faith. Now I see faith as your morale, your just overall well-being. It's your belief in yourself, your belief in your vision. How are you doing? How is your faith feeling? I know for me, this is up and down and all around. Sometimes I fucking believe in myself. I'm doing great. I really feel like I'm moving forward towards the vision. I feel like everything is going in the right direction. Sometimes I feel like I'm down in the gutter and I'm about to give up. I'm ready to quit. It's too much to hold. It's too much to handle. So faith is your overall morale. Family is the second F. Now, this is just the status of your relationships. You don't have to have a wife and kids to check in for family. Overall, how are your relationships doing? How's your relationship with your partner, your girlfriend, your whatever, your significant other? If you don't have one, what's your relationship like with the closest people in your life? It could be your parents, could be your work team, whatever it is. What is the status of your relationships? How are you doing with them? What's showing up? What's presenting in these areas? What's going on with your family, with the relationships in your life? The third F is finances. It's not just the numbers, even though the numbers matter. You can talk about the numbers. This is what's in my bank account right now, but it's also your stress levels around finances, right? Could be your morale around finances. It could be your plans and ideas around finances. These are the hangups that I'm having. These are the prospects that I have in order to bring more money in and bring more easefulness around the stress that I'm having around my finances. It could be, around a career change. It could just be what's going on in your career currently. Finances is such an important one. It is one I know for myself. I carry so much stress around, and not only stress do I carry, but I carry shame around it. So it's usually the last thing that I want to share with another man, right? I personally feel my story is that if my finances are down or my finances aren't doing well, I am not a good man, or I'm less of a man. So the last thing that I want to do is bring it up to another man and tell him my finances are in the fucking gutter. However, when I do get that off my chest and I'm actually able to let a man in just a very transparent way, I've gotten some of the best support in my life from going to that space. I've also slayed the dragon in a way, even if it's not me getting direct support or them, questioning or asking something that helps shine light on a resolution or a solution, just getting that weight off of my shoulder, just sharing how I'm feeling around my finances, you really takes the fire out of the dragon, and it enables me to step back in and take action towards solution. So the fourth F is fitness. Now, yes, it's working out, but really it's how are you taking care of yourself? How are you taking care of your physical body? Physical, mental, spiritual, but how are you taking care of yourself? Now, maybe you have a practice of going to the gym. How's that commitment going? Maybe it's a meditation practice. Maybe it's a singing practice. Maybe it's a going for a leisurely walk in the morning just to clear your mind. Whatever it is, how are you doing at taking care of yourself? This is one that a lot of us guys will let go of, right? Because there's more important things to do. We have work stress. We have family stress. We have this side hustle that we're trying to make our main hustle. We got all these things. And at the end of the day, it becomes easier to say, well, I can go to the gym tomorrow. And then you say that for a month, you say that for 2 months. And, we all know where that road goes down to. But when we take time to reflect and really check in on it, even if we haven't been in a month, at least we get to say to ourselves, well, I really have not been taking good care of myself. And when we reflect that to another man, they can either relate to it, they can give us a kick in the butt, they can laugh about it, but just getting that out of your own head gives you the support and access to the antidote to a lot of mental struggle, right? To a lot of that stress can be relieved through just moving your physical body, right? So that's why fitness is in the 5S, because it is super important. And the last but most important F is fun. How much have you been laughing? Right? For real. How much have you been laughing? I know for myself, I can find myself going for like weeks. I'm like, shit, I haven't had a good belly laugh in a minute. And that's usually a direct correlation to my overall morale. That's like direct correlation to my faith. If I haven't been laughing, then I'm probably feeling a bit discouraged. I'm probably not feeling hopeful. And I probably need some serious help and support. So fun is essential because it is something that we do for the sake of doing, right? It's not something that we put into our schedule so that it can lead to greater prospect of making more money, or it can lead to a deeper relationship, or so it can lead to some sort of ends, right? Fun is for the sake of having fun. Fun is for the sake of that laughter that we all need in order to stay in that joyfulness of life, right? It's really easy to forget how beautiful it is to laugh and smile and be joyful when we are trying to solve the problem at hand. It's really difficult to remember the pureness of a deep belly laugh when we are trying to crawl out of a deep, dark hole, right? So that's why we check in around that one too. So again, faith, family, finances, fitness, and fun. So my recommendation when you're going through these things is rate them 0 to 10. 0, I'm in the basement. I'm doing horrible. This is really out of hand. 10, I'm absolutely crushing it. When you're going through these with another man or with your team, really reflect on what of this domain has been most tough for you, right? Where are you absolutely crushing it? Where are you doing great? It's not always just about being bad, right? Where are you struggling? Where are you crushing it? What's hanging you up, right? Where are you really having difficulty? What's next? And how could you use support? You can go through all 5 of these and ask those questions in order to reflect deeply on each of the domains. And what this is going to do, and I really want to echo this, is it is going to allow another man to lean further in, right? When you actually open up and share what's actually going on and not just talk about the weather or talk about some superficial, yeah, life is pretty good, things are going all right. When you actually open up and look at and share what's going on, it gives a man an opportunity to lean in, and it's captivating. It's absolutely captivating. Even if they have some sort of judgment about, which they probably won't, because they're probably going to relate to it. It's captivating in the sense that they want to hear more. They probably do not have many authentic conversations on their day-to-day basis. So this is the 5F check-in. I really just, as you're listening to this, pick 3 guys. Pick 3 guys. You can run through this in 10 minutes, 10 minutes each man. Pick those 3 guys, have a phone call with them, drop the 5 Fs, and just say, hey, let's check in around these things. I just want to see how they're going for you. And I would love to share how these things are going for me, and just see what happens. Just see what happens. You're going to see smiles. You're going to see laughter. You're going to see some sighs. They may not be of relief originally, but they're going to lead to sighs of relief. And it's going to give you guys an opportunity to problem solve together, which is, I think, the most beautiful thing. Men love fixing shit together. They love solving things together. We love putting our heads together in order to come to some sort of solution. Now, the check-in isn't just about fixing problems, right? It's sharing what's going on. And I think naturally, every time that I've done it, it ends up leading to spin-off conversations that usually lead towards solution, which I think is always a beautiful thing.